Hello, this is Linda Kennedy from EDU 585, and this is my project titled My Philosophy of the Teacher Leader. In the paper that I wrote, I decided to compare the teacher leader to the contents of a typical school lunchbox. Now, you don't have to be Wonder Woman to be a teacher leader, but it certainly helps if you are Wonder Woman, so that's what my lunchbox is. So we start out our teacher leader philosophy with what Danielson asked in chapter 3, which is, what does a teacher leader do? Well, one of the main things that a teacher leader does is she communicates. So the first thing that I have in my lunch here is what I call the communication sandwich. Let's take the communication sandwich out of the container, and you'll notice that the first thing that we find underneath the bread is a compliment. You like to start talking to your colleagues and administrators by giving them a compliment. That's what the tomato here represents. Like, for instance, Ted, I really liked your story about Grandpa Chicken, and then how you followed up by bringing Kentucky Fried Chicken to the class to share it. That was a great idea. Now, right underneath the compliment is, does the lesson pass the mustard? That is going to be your leading question. Like, for instance, Ted, is there anything about your lesson that you feel like you could improve upon? Now, if Ted doesn't pick up on the question, then you go from pass the mustard to the meat of the matter. Ted, I happen to notice that your time management was a little bit lacking. You didn't always start class on time. Then, following the meat of the matter, in this case ham, one of my favorites, we follow with yet another compliment, here represented by the bed of lettuce. Ted, your personality in the classroom is just outstanding, and the way that you connect with others, I'm sure that there are many, many years ahead for you to improve your skills as an educator. The next thing that we have in our lunch box is the milk of human kindness, because in order to be a teacher leader, you have to be kind. Now, I can't have dairy, so this isn't regular milk. This is Wheatley milk. Right here, Margaret Wheatley, Turning to One Another. And I found that in her book, she did a wonderful job of pulling out of us what we knew was important there, that we really needed to connect with each other, whether it was parents or teachers or administrators or other educators. By the way, some people find that they are Wheatley intolerant. That's okay. The next thing in our lunchbox we get from Killian. Now, Killian, in taking the lead, asked some very important questions with regard to the district, the principals. How are they going to interact with you? How do you take the lead if your position as a teacher leader hasn't even been defined yet? Well, I have the answer right here. It is the sweet and salty trail mix. Now, sweet, because some people are going to be very open to the idea of having a teacher leader. Salty, oh yeah, you're going to have some people who are salty on your staff, and you're probably going to have a few nuts in the mix. But one of the things that you have to keep in mind when you put sweet and salty together, what you get is savory. And what Killian points out is, savor what you can. Sure, there are going to be challenges, but let's all celebrate the things that we managed to accomplish together. Now, finally, and sometimes it comes down to, what is in it for me? So we dangle the carrots of opportunity. We found out from Marzano here there's certainly opportunities as teacher leaders to move on in leadership if that's what you really want. Well, so what are the little carrots that the district can dangle out there for us to encourage us to be teacher leaders? Well, greater input into the educational process. Wouldn't we all like to have a little bit more of that? The ability to advocate for ourselves and for our students and our community, our school community. Sure, advocate. Dangle that carrot out there. Another carrot, possibly monetary, could be a stipend that you could dangle out there for the mentor slash coach slash person who's going to be out there, you know, coordinating educational efforts and changes. And then finally, well, there is a little bit of a question mark there, because we went through the whole class trying to define what a teacher leader is. We're still not exactly sure what the outcome's going to be. But you know what? You put it all together and it makes a pretty nourishing lunch. Thank you for your time.